Alright then gang, so now we have our server up and running and we're serving up this page to the browser over here. Now the next step is to create this WebSocket connection between the front end, the browser, and the server. So the first step in doing that is to come into the front end over here, the index.html, and we're going to set up a new WebSocket connection right here. So the way we do that is by creating a new instance of a WebSocket. And to do that, we say let WS, and you can call this what you want. WS just stands for WebSocket, and set it equal to new WebSocket. So the reason we store this in a variable is so we can use this later on to listen to messages coming from the server and then react to that. So inside here, we need to pass an argument, which is a string, and it's basically telling the WebSocket where to make a connection to on the server. So I'm going to paste this in, and we can see that we use the WS protocol. That's the protocol for WebSockets. Then it's going to localhost port 3000, that should be, and /WS. Now, again, this could be anything you want over here, but I'm calling it WS. That's what we're going to handle over here on the server later on. But that's all we need to do from the front end. So now from the server, we need to accept this WebSocket connection. Now, in order to do that, we're going to have to import a couple of things from the WebSocket module in the Deno standard library, which you can find down here, WS. And you can read more about this if you want to. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to paste in an import at the top of app.ts right here. And we're importing two functions right here. Accept WebSocket, which actually accepts the WebSocket connection, and also acceptable to make sure that the connection is acceptable, that the type of request that comes when we instantiate this over here is a valid, acceptable WebSocket request. So we need to use that function to check the request first of all. If it's acceptable, then we accept it. I hope that makes sense. So then, down here, let me first of all make a comment that says accept WebSocket connection. So then, the first thing we want to do is check the URL to see if it matches this thing right here. So /WS, because we only want to do any of this stuff if it's /WS as we specify right here. So let's do that if check first of all. So if, and it's request.url, just like we did above, and see if that's equal to /WS. Remember, we specified that right here. All right, so if that's the case and it's true, the first thing we want to do is check whether the type of request that we've got is an acceptable WebSocket request. So again, we use this function right here to do that. So let me copy it. And again, we use an if statement. And inside here, I'm going to say if acceptable and pass in the request. Like so. Now that is going to look at the request and see if it's an acceptable WebSocket request. Is it one of these things right here? If it is, then we can accept that request, and we do that by using this accept WebSocket function. So I'm going to paste this down here, and inside this we need to pass an object with 4 different things. Now I'm just going to paste these in. So let me copy them from my repo and paste them here. The first one is this property con, and that is basically the connection. The second one is a buffer reader, and the third one a writer. So this is just to send and receive information basically. And then we have request headers right here. So those 4 properties we have to pass in to this accept WebSocket function. So we're accepting this connection right here. And this is asynchronous. It returns a promise, and what we do is tack on a then method to this, because after we have this connection, we then want to do something with that connection. So we can pass in a callback function right here. So basically, a connection handler. So I'm going to create our callback function or connection handler for this connection in a new file over here, then export it and register it right here, just so I'm not writing all of this in one file. So I'm going to create a new folder, and that folder is going to be called WS for WebSockets. And then inside here, I'm going to create a new file called chatroom.ts. Okay, so first of all, I want to create a function which I'm then going to register over here. So this callback function, and I'm going to call that function chat connection. So let me say const chat connection is equal to an asynchronous function, because we'll be performing asynchronous tasks in here later. And then over here inside the function, all we're going to do for now is console.log, and we'll say new socket connection. Now also, this function automatically, when we pass it in here, this callback function is automatically going to get access to an argument which is that WebSocket which we've just made a connection with. So we can accept it in here, WS, and this is of type WebSocket, right? Now I'm going to get rid of that import, and instead I'm going to copy this from my repo and paste it right here. So again, we're going from the WS module from the standard library, and we're importing this WebSocket type. So we're just typing this argument right here. It's of type WebSocket, and we automatically get that when we pass the callback function right here. So now we can export this. I'm going to say at the bottom, export and chat connection, like so. And then let's import it from app.ts. So up at the top, I'm going to say import, and it's chat connection. And we're going to import that from, and it's // to go into the WS folder, then / chatroom.ts. Okay, so we've imported that. Now we can register it down here, chat connection, like so. We don't invoke it. We're just passing through a reference so that when this promise resolves, we fire this function and it automatically gets that argument, that WebSocket connection. Okay, so let's just give this a whirl, because now if from the front end, when we're setting up this connection right here, it goes to the server, we accept that connection, then it will fire this function, and over here we're just logging this in the console. So we should see down here in the console, new socket connection. So let me go over here and refresh this page, and nothing happens over here, but now we can see new socket connection. Now if I refresh again, then it's gonna give us a new connection again. All right, so every time now this page loads, whether it's in this tab or a different browser or somewhere else on the other side of the world, whenever we make a request to this, it's going to set up a new connection for us, essentially. Now, ideally, when a new connection is made, we want to store that connection for later use. Now, there may be many connections from many different users in different browsers. We want to store all of those so that we can send messages to all of them later on. So we're going to create a map to store the WebSockets in. Now, a map is a data structure which allows us to store key value pairs. The keys can be different types like strings, booleans, functions. In our case, we want our key to be a random ID, and the value is going to be a WebSocket. So every new WebSocket connection that we have, we're going to store a new key value pair in the map, the key being a random ID for that connection and the value being that WebSocket connection itself. So we can store all those and cycle through them later on when we're sending out messages. So then let's create this map first of all up at the top. I'm going to call this map sockets, but call it what you want. So sockets is equal to a new map, and then we're going to type this. So we're going to say that the key will be a string and that will be an ID, and then the value is going to be of type WebSocket, the same as the value we take in right here. So now we have this map. We need to invoke that to create the map. Now we have this down here. Whenever we get a new connection and this function fires for that connection, for that browser, we want to generate a unique ID for that connection, and we want to add that WebSocket and the ID to this map. So then let's do that. First of all, I'm going to import something from the UUID standard library module. So this is a module in Deno from the standard library that allows us to generate unique IDs, and we're importing this v4 object from there. So let me go down here. I'm going to do a little comment first of all that says add new WebSocket connection to map. So first of all, I'm going to create a UID. So const UID is equal to v4 dot, and we use a method called generate on this module to do that. And by the way, you can learn more about this module from the standard library. If you go over here, standard library, and look for UUID, it shows you exactly how to use it down here. Dead simple. So now for every WebSocket connection we have from a different browser, we're generating a unique ID for that WebSocket. And then next we need to take our sockets map and we need to set a new value. So to do that, we use the set method. And first is the key, which is the UID we've just generated right here. So that's the key. And the value is going to be the WebSocket that we take in right here. So the WebSocket that's just been established. So let's pass that in. So now, we have this new item or this new key value pair inside the map, and we're storing that later to use when we're going to broadcast messages like new chats. So now down here, what I'm going to do is say console.log sockets. And now every time we have a new connection, we're going to log all the sockets. So let me now just go over here and go over here, and I'm going to refresh. Now, if we go to the console, we can see now this is our map. We have a unique ID and we have the WebSocket itself. Now, what if we open up this on another browser or another tab as well? So let me do that. I'm just doing this on another screen and bringing it over. So there's another one. Now we should have two WebSockets, and we can see those. We have this one, the first one, and this one. And if we do it again, I'm doing this off screen, pasting it in a new tab and bringing it over here. And now we should have three, right? So now we're storing all of those WebSocket connections in this map. And because we have all those now, say on one of these later on, we send a message to the server will then want to take that message and send it out to all WebSockets. And it can do that because of this map. We can cycle through that map and send out that message to each browser via the WebSockets. So now we're registering these connections on the server and we're storing all of those WebSocket connections. Next up, we can start to send data from the browser to the server.